Hello, Cathy. This is Frederick, and I hope that this audio recording finds you well. I was a little apprehensive in that we did a fair amount today. I was surprised and thrilled to see the exercises that you're doing on a regular basis. And what we did added, as you saw, was a little bit of spice to those exercises, to those explorations you were doing, to those things, to make it a bit more effective. The first thing we did in a seated position in your chair was look at the stretches that you do, and you do the lowering of the head and the elevating of the head, kind of like a nodding action. And I asked you to look at that with your breathing and see when do you breathe out and when do you breathe in, and see if by putting those two ideas together, looking down and up and breathing in a way that seems in sync with that, if the rest of yourself seems to get involved in the action so that it's just more active. And I'm not going to give away when it is that you breathe out and when it is that you breathe in. I don't want you performing. I want your brain more engaged. So that's one. Two, you added you did a turning of the head action, where you turn the head to the side and place your hand on the top of your head, and then did a kind of a bending action. And you saw what happened when you looked at the breath with that, when the breath went out and when the breath went in. And I know you don't like looking at the breathing. However, when you have less space inside of you, if you breathe out, and when you have more space inside of you and you breathe in, that will serve you. So please don't be angry at me. And actually, there was another one, but I'm not going to include that. It was side bending, but we're not going to worry about that. Then there was you went to the wall afterwards with the ball, and I think there was a little bit of a confusion there. You asked me a few times about when you press the floor away. And again, I'd like you to play with it and think, okay, when do I sense my feet pressing the floor away from me? And when am I simply controlling the action and returning? And we'll look again at that on Tuesday when we have our private session. But play with that. When do you press the floor away with the ball? And when are you allowing the floor to kind of come up and greet you? Always in ownership of the action. So that's there. And then you went down the floor, and the two different stretches that you were doing, which I was really surprised to see because they major league take you into rotation. One of them, you're on your back, and you take one leg, let's say the left leg, you bend the left knee on your back, and you take the left knee over to the right side of yourself. Now, you told me you were doing a 30-second static stretch. That, as you may remember, will weaken you. Instead of doing a 30-second static stretch, once you find yourself in that position and you're comfortable, begin to move in this case, your left knee further off to the side. So in other words, the direction to which your pelvis is turned to the right, you move your knee more to the right and then return, and you can play with the different trajectories, noticing that some trajectories are easier than others. You can go more down, you can go more up, you can do different things on the ground with your knee. And so play with that and see that asks you to do different things in your back depending on where the knee is going. A small action, no more than half an inch or so. It's not a big movement. And then, of course, you would do that on the other side and notice the differences. So once you've explored that, the other stretching action that you did, again, amazing that you were able to handle that amount of rotation in the torso. If you bring yourself into side lying, so you're like in a fetal position on your side, let's say the right side, and you take your left arm back behind you, what you were doing is being there with the left arm back there and just hanging out for 30 seconds and stretching. Again, that'll weaken you. Make it more dynamic by lifting. Again, it will be the left hand behind you. Lift it a half inch off the floor, an inch off the floor, and you may remember I put my hand on your chest near the breast. And if you lift the arm, the muscle that will ask to move, to engage there, is the pectoralis major, your chest musculature, and you'll feel that going on. You go, oh, okay, yeah, the chest is really working there. And of course, you would do the same thing on the other side. If you have any questions, or if I almost murdered you today, because we did do a lot, please let me know. And I hope we didn't overdo it. And also, I look forward to getting, if you can find it, the video of the person doing Feldenkrais, but quickly. I'm a little suspicious. There are the people who call themselves Feldenkrais practitioners out there who think that Feldenkrais is calisthenics. And as you see from your time with Joan and your time with Josh and your time with me, we're not doing calisthenics. We're doing something very different from that. So just simply picking up the tempo and doing actions is not what we're doing. So if you have any questions on this, let me know. I hope I didn't wear your machine out, and I look forward to seeing you on Tuesday morning. I think it's Tuesday morning. It's in my book. I'll show up at the right time. Have a great one. Bye bye.